A loud alarm rings in total darkness. The silence is broken. 100 eyes open at once, but none know where they are. The floor below them glows in circles. The walls are smooth, cold, and windowless. Somewhere above, a speaker crackles too. Life, a voice says just one thing: the game has begun. Gi-hun had a chance to escape. In Season 2, we saw him walk toward a new life. A plane ticket in hand, but instead of flying away, he turned around. His reason? Revenge. Now, in Season 3, we learn what happened after he stepped off the path of freedom. The camera follows him. Through dark streets, making calls to dead numbers, chasing ghosts in red suits. His hair is longer now, his eyes more tired, but his will stronger than ever. We learn through short flashbacks that Gi-hun has made contact with someone inside. Not a player, not a VIP, but someone in the middle, a supplier. Through bribes, threats, and one dangerous deal, Gi-hun enters the system not as a player this time, but as a shadow, watching, learning, waiting. Meanwhile, far from Seoul, a new facility is being prepared. This one is different. The walls are cleaner, the design more modern. There are digital locks, laser scanners, and advanced AI watching everything. The new Squid Game isn't just a survival test, now a global product, backed by powerful investors. Cameras are hidden in the walls. Data is collected in real time. Every scream, every drop of blood is entertainment. One of the biggest twists in this setup. The new Squid Game isn't in Korea anymore. It's being held in a secret offshore facility located in international waters. This means no government, no laws, no oversight. The game makers have full control. And this time, they're inviting people from around the world. But not everyone joined by choice. The first leaked scene shows players waking up in a circular room. The floor is lit up in glowing blue rings, each ring surrounding a player's bed. They are all wearing the same tracksuit, but the numbers now have QR codes on them. A sign of modernization. Some players wake up confused. Others are already crying. One woman screams for her baby. A man in his 40s starts kicking the wall, shouting, "Let me out!" And then comes the voice. It's robotic now, cold and clear. It welcomes the players, tells them they've been selected for a new round of challenges. It promises fortune, freedom, redemption, but at a cost. The voice also gives one terrifying update. The games will begin immediately with no time for alliances, no time for rest. Those who do not follow the rules or fail to complete tasks will be removed. No details are given on what removed means, but everyone knows. We get a glimpse of some new characters. A young teenage girl, no older than 16, looks terrified. She's from an Eastern European country. She whispers that she never signed up. Her arm has a bruise like someone injected her. Another man, muscular and calm, has a military stance. He starts analyzing the room, the cameras, the exits. He's not panicked, he's calculating. Gi-hun isn't in the room with them. He's watching from behind a screen. A hidden camera shows him every move. His contact inside is feeding him details, names, stats, and entry methods. He watches as the players begin to panic. One man tries to run only to be zapped by a shock. From the floor, he falls unconscious. 2 red-suited guards appear and drag him away. No one speaks after that. The new front man appears, dressed in full black. His mask is sharper now, almost like armor. He watches from a high balcony, saying nothing. But his presence alone brings fear. Unlike the old front man, this one is not silent due to mystery. He's silent because he's planning something far worse. The episode ends with the voice announcing the first game, and the floor beneath the players begins to rotate. The game has returned. But this is not the same game. It's faster, smarter, and far more dangerous. They didn't sign up. They were taken. This time, not every player joined for money. Some were kidnapped, some were blackmailed, and a few were born into this. The rules of Squid Game have changed, and so have the players. Leaked footage from episode 1 shows a massive circular room filled with frightened faces. But when the voice announces, "You were chosen by others, not by choice," panic spreads like fire. Each new player wears a tracksuit, but unlike the past seasons, their number is not their identity. The suits now show their net worth, their biggest secret, or in some cases, the name of the person who signed them up. It's not just shame, it's fuel for betrayal. One player, a young man named Rio, sees a name on his back, his own mother's. She sent him here. In another corner, a girl named Sela stares at the words, "Debt inherited, $0." She was never in debt. She was tricked. She's not even 18. The first game begins within minutes. But it's not a children's game like Red Light Green. Light. It's called Shadow Simon, a tech-controlled horror where players stand in front of a giant screen. An AI-generated face on the monitor begins to speak. It doesn't just say, "Simon says." It watches, it remembers. It knows each player's weaknesses. If a player moves without command, they are zapped with a high-frequency shock. But if a player lies when asked a personal question, even just by blinking wrong, the system registers it, and lights under their feet turn red. One man tall, cocky, mid-30s tries to outsmart the system. He answers confidently, but when asked, "Have you betrayed someone to survive?" his pulse spikes. The lights under his feet glow red. Without warning, the floor opens beneath him, and he disappears into the darkness. The sound of a distant scream is all that remains. The rules are now psychological. No more basic games. These are built to test honesty, trust, and past sins. Another woman, strong, quiet, scarred, passes the first round by staying completely still and silent. Her face shows no fear, and the system passes her. But others around her aren't so lucky. Outside the room, Gi-hun watches. His face is pale. He didn't know this is what the game had become. His contact whispers in his ear, "They've upgraded everything. This is no longer about survival, it's about exposure." We cut to a secret room behind the scenes. New VIPs watch through. Black screens, no faces shown, only voices. But these aren't the rich old men from before. These are corporate leaders, tech billionaires, military investors. They don't drink wine. They don't laugh. They take notes. Every player is data. Every death is a test result. Gi-hun's heart races. He recognizes one of the names on the VIP monitor. It's someone from his past. Someone he thought was dead. And suddenly this isn't just a mission. It's personal. Back inside the game room, the survivors of Shadow Simon are led down glowing corridors to a new resting area. There is no comfort. Just plain steel benches, a single water pipe, and cameras in every corner. Players start whispering, forming small alliances, but they don't trust one another. They can't. The rules say, no player can stay silent. During rest periods, silence is punished. And just like that, the new players realize the truth. Even the breaks are traps. There is no escape. Not even in sleep. In this version of Squid Game, you don't just play to win. You play to stay human. Asterisk. It starts with a simple question. Would you sacrifice someone else to save yourself? Number. Game, no music, no warning. Just the voice in the dark asking every player the same thing. One by one, the lights turn on above each face. Some lie, some cry, some go silent, and then the voice says, "Your answer has been recorded. You will live with it or die by it." The third leak scene from Squid Game Season 3 is not about physical strength. It's not even about strategy. It's about breaking people from the inside. This game is called The Vote. Every player must enter a room alone. There's one chair, one red button, and a screen that says, "Press to eliminate a stranger." Walk out and risk being chosen yourself. No one knows who else is voting. No one knows how many presses it takes before someone dies. The screen shows no results, only silence. It's a game of trust and fear. Some press quickly without blinking. Others sit there for minutes, sweating, breaking down. One player, an old man with shaking hands, whispers, "I'm sorry," and presses the button twice, but the horror doesn't end there. After the vote ends, all players are gathered in the main room. A wall lifts. Behind it, they see the body of a player, a teenage girl who never hurt anyone. Her number fades from the screen above. And the voice returns. She received the most votes. Your choices were real, gasps echo across the room. Some scream. One player throws up. Another punches the wall until his hands bleed. But the game continues. And then the second twist hits. They are told to guess who voted for her. They must point fingers. They must accuse. And if they choose wrong? Another one dies. The camera focuses on Gi-hun watching from behind glass. His jaw tightens. He whispers, "This isn't a game anymore. This is war." We then cut to a player, a woman named Hannah. She doesn't speak much, but she's sharp. She doesn't cry. She watches. She figures out the voting system, realizing it wasn't random. The buttons were rigged to record how long a person hesitated before pressing. The longer the delay, the higher their guilt score. The system didn't just measure the press it, judge their heart. In a quick montage, we see players lose their sanity. A man starts screaming at the walls. Another begins writing messages in his own blood. A girl in her 20s stares at her reflection and whispers, "Am I the killer now?" Over and over, the most haunting moment. A player confesses to voting, not to survive, but because the girl reminded him of his own sister. He didn't want to feel weak again. The screen zooms in on his tearful face. No music. Just guilt. We now understand that Season 3 isn't just about who can survive bullets or dodge red light. It's about surviving yourself, your thoughts, your guilt, your past. Outside the game rooms, Gi-hun learns something horrifying. Some players are being fed specific lies through hidden messages. Someone is trying to control the choices from within, pushing players to become monsters. And then a twist we never saw coming. One of the guards removes their mask. A fellow player gasps in shock. "You?" they whisper. "It's not a guard. It's someone who used to play and survived. They weren't brought back to play. They were brought back to control." The system is recycling winners, turning them into monsters for hire. And now the game has one final question for every player. What happens when the winners become the next killers? Asterisk, they thought the VIPs were gone. They were wrong. But this time, they don't wear golden masks. They wear logos. The biggest shock in Season 3 isn't a new game, it's who's watching them now. In a chilling behind-the-scenes leak, the camera pans over a sleek control room, rows of screens, digital maps, and surveillance feeds from every corner of the game compound. But the people running it, they aren't gamblers. They're corporate executives, military leaders, biotech CEOs. They call themselves the Syndicate. Each screen shows a player's vitals, heart rate, stress levels, emotional spikes. One man in a suit points at a screen and says, "He's about to snap." Perfect candidate for Game 4. This isn't entertainment anymore. It's a psychological lab. A testing ground. A profitable one. One executive smiles and says, "We're not betting on them. We're studying them." The VIPs from the past were just the surface. The real power, the real money is now being made behind closed doors. Every death is analyzed. Every decision is logged. Each breakdown fuels data for future wars, future prisons, future control. And Gi-hun, he's in the heart of it. He didn't expect this. He thought he was taking down the people who created the games. Instead, he's walked into a machine that's bigger, smarter, and legal. Through his earpiece, his contact tells him, "You're in too deep. Get out before they find you." But Gi-hun refuses, because just as he's about to turn back, he sees a photo. On a wall in the restricted archive room, a security image from Season 1. It's of his daughter, smiling with a stranger. And written beside it in red ink, "Future player." The system never stopped. It just evolved. And now it's grooming the next generation. Back inside the compound, a new game is announced. But this time, it's broadcast. Live to the Syndicate boardrooms. The players are told they are being observed for behavioral value. Each is handed a bracelet that lights up based on how entertaining they are. Those with the lowest scores will be reevaluated. In simple terms, if you're not interesting enough, you die. The players begin to act. One starts a fight. Another breaks down crying on command. A third pretends to confess a dark past that isn't true just to get more attention. It's no longer about survival. It's about performance. The front man watches this chaos unfold. He speaks for the first time. You want freedom? Give him a show. And for a moment, we realized this game was never about money. It was about control, fear, and power. The final leaked shot shows Gi-hun placing a small device behind one of the cameras. A signal is sent. A screen in a different country lights up. An unknown figure smiles. The resistance is real. And now they know where to strike. But just before the episode ends, another twist hits, one that changes everything. The front man removes his mask. It's someone we've seen before. Someone we thought was dead. And their words send chills down every spine. Welcome back, player 456, *.